I got this letter. Larry, love your show, love you. Thank you for all your years of dedicated truth. I miss when your mom came on the show. I'd like to say this one thing that I just now realized. Another great thing Trump has done for our country is to unite us in racial terms. Think about it. Remember when Obama was supposed to unite us but ended up dividing us? You can't say that about President Trump. He absolutely flipped that narrative positive. I'm proud to be the first one to put it out there that he is indeed credited with bringing the races together in harmony. Please let me know what you think. Well, I've mentioned I campaigned with him and for him in 2016 when he was candidate Donald Trump. And we were at a black church in Cleveland where I lived for some 17 years. And he talked about the importance of family and the importance of fathers. And I will tell you, he had this congregation, virtually everybody was black, in the palm of his hands. He, of course, has been called a racist. And if this man is a racist, he needs to go back to racism school. I did a video about his first term. It's on YouTube, Epoch Times video, 3.2 million views the last time I checked. I talked about some of the things that Donald Trump has done that specifically benefited blacks, including the First Step Act that allowed some nearly 4,000, mostly men, in prison to have their sentences reconsidered because they'd gotten very long sentences, drug-related sentences, even though they were not violent criminals. The average sentence had been reduced because of the First Step Act by 70 months. Even Van Jones praised Donald Trump, Van Jones being one of the pundits on CNN, which I watch so you don't have to. Even he praised Donald Trump. I talked about his aggressive support for school choice. We've talked for many years about the disaster known as urban education, K through 12, where 85% of black 8th graders, 13-year-old kids, can neither read nor do math at grade level nationwide. In the schools in the inner city, many of them, public schools, I prefer the term government schools, are abysmal. In Illinois, there are over 50 government schools where 0% of the kids can do math at grade level, virtually all of them in Chicago, South and West Side, primarily black areas. Baltimore, as I've mentioned many times, 13 public high schools in Baltimore, 0% of the kids can do math at grade level, and guess what? All located in the inner city. Donald Trump is an adamant proponent of school choice, where the money follows the child rather than the other way around. You know who's opposed to it? The Democrat Party. Even though poll after poll after poll shows that black parents and Hispanic parents living in the inner city want school choice, but their party says no. Even as the party leaders, whether Obama or Joe Biden, have their own kids in private school. Donald Trump has pushed so-called opportunity zones to reduce taxes and regulations in urban areas to spark economic growth. Donald Trump did the Music Modernization Act so that musicians, many of whom are black, are able to profit from streaming online, digital streaming. One of the members of the Sam and Dave duo, the great Sam and Dave duo, the ones that did Soul Man, Hold On, I'm Coming, praised Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, of course, secured the borders. Why is that of benefit to black people? I've told you about a study done by the U.S. Civil Rights Commission some years ago. They found that the group most harmed by unfettered illegal immigration are black and brown people living in the inner city with high school or less education, because most of the people who come to the country from the southern border have very little education. So that's the group that people with high school or less living in the inner city compete against for jobs. And the presence of illegal alien labor puts downward pressure to the tune of almost $2,000 a year on the wages of black and brown people that would otherwise be the case but for the presence of illegal alien labor. Coretta Scott King, the widow of MLK, wrote a letter to Congress some years ago when Congress was thinking about watering down the sanctions against employers who knowingly hire illegal aliens. and she talked about the disproportionate effect it would have on black people. The great House member Barbara Jordan from Texas chaired a commission on immigration, and she too talked about the disproportionately negative effect that unbridled illegal immigration has on black people. Donald Trump, and he did it again in 2.0, has shut the border down, which will again have a disproportionately positive effect on the economy for black and brown people with high school or less education living in the inner city. If this is a racist, again, he needs to take some lessons. As far as Trump bringing races together, you know what he's done? He's not condescended. He's not pulled his punches. If he thinks you're a buffoon, no matter your race, no matter your gender, he's going to tell you. He referred to Maxine Waters as low IQ Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters is one of the most incendiary public figures in America today. Routinely referred to the president, even before Donald Trump, as a racist, called George Herbert Walker Bush a racist. And he called her low IQ. Who else does that? Most white politicians would be afraid to do so for fear that they'd be called racist. He's referred to AOC and Jasmine Crockett also as low IQ people. Of course, he maligns other white people, but when he maligns a black person, then he's called a racist. Donald Trump doesn't give a damn. If he thinks you're stupid, if he thinks you're irresponsible, if he thinks that you are counterproductive, thinks that you are sabotaging America first, he is going to call you out no matter what your race is. Don't you find that refreshing? And, of course, he is opposed to DEI, race-based preferences. While you may think that that would hurt black people, it doesn't. We had a proposition here in California called Proposition 209 that got rid of the use of race in college admissions, in contracting, and in hiring. And all these experts said that after that, the most competitive campus, UC Berkeley and UCLA, won't have very many blacks. And to be sure, it had fewer of them. But there were more black people attending UC Riverside and UC Irvine, and they were far more likely to graduate on time. They were better matched with the college. So it benefited even black people, despite what the naysayers said.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.